So based off of that, then is there a way to kind of push back on that piece specifically? I mean, how could we, you said it's been happening since the beginning of time, so it almost sounds like there's no hope there, but is there an attack or some way to try to hold the line on that piece right there? Because we can easily see that the Constitution is under attack. Is there some way to kind of hold that rigidity there?
Well, really, my view is the public is the ultimate check. Because if the public refuses to go along with unconstitutional actions in a sufficient degree, then the state can't get away with it, no matter what politician or what jurist is in their pocket.
Right.
So that's the number one. The second one is just continuing to be politically active and engaged in such a way that the most constitutionally conscientious judges get and seize power. And we still get some great constitutional rulings consistently. It's just a constant tension between that wing of the judiciary that wants to undermine the Constitution and redefine it for them to be Socratic guardians of the rest of us, and those who still care deeply about it. And we still get a very important wins. So the Constitution is still real. It's just always under threat.
Now let's move on to another constitutional topic, which is, I think it was 2 days ago, good old Biden gets on there and threatens Americans with F-15s and nukes, which is pretty amazing. There was I think Senator, Congressman, was it Buttigieg or somebody? No, Sewell a couple of years ago kind of did that in Twitter, and it had this huge uproar. And now the president seemed to be saying, hey, you can't come at us with, we have F-15s and nukes, and basically talking about the Second Amendment, taking away the right of guns. And it seems to me the Constitution is pretty clear, right? Shall not be infringed. I mean, it seems kind of point blank and to the point. So what's going on with that?
So the Second Amendment really was a means of enshrining ultimate individual freedom, power, and liberty by constitutionally protecting the right of self-defense. And that right of self-defense was as to other people and as to the state itself. And that's what it was meant to democratize the violent military power of the state by only allowing voluntary militias to have that power that are drawn from the citizenry themselves. And indeed, there was opposition to a permanent standing army at the time of the American Revolution. So that was the goal: democratize the state's otherwise monopoly on violence and enshrine the right of self-defense. That's why those two militia clauses and the right to bear arms are together in the same amendment. It's to achieve the same objective, to not allow the state to have a monopoly on both the tools of violence and the legal right of violence, and as to either other individuals or as to the state itself. And so, and for that reason, it's the most powerful amendment in the entire Constitution. So the First Amendment has a lot of great rights: Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, Sixth Amendment, Eighth Amendment. But the Second Amendment is the one that safeguards all the rest of them. They're the ones that are ultimately checked. Now, Biden is, factually correct that the ability to overthrow the United States government by violent means is almost non-existent, which means his excuse for trying to restrict Second Amendment rights also is non-existent. It's peculiar that this is the same president that's out there telling people a bunch of unarmed grannies taking selfies in the Capitol was the gravest insurrection since the Civil War. Yeah. And at the same time saying you don't have to worry about an insurrection because that's not practical given all the nuclear and armament powers that we monopolize. Yeah. So it's just a pretext to try to take away people's Second Amendment rights because it's the greatest protection against state incursion of their liberties.
Yeah. And it seems to me, almost, well, first of all, it can't work except for, it kind of worked in Vietnam. It kind of works through the Middle East. As you said, the people, right? It's always about the people. And so if enough people stand up, they're always going to have the power.